guys, Logan here, and we are nearly at the end of the year 2017. It has gone by super crazy fast, guys, and I figured that since I've seen a lot of good movies this year like I had last year, I figured I would unveil my personal list for top 10 best movies of 2017. Now, I want to give in 3 really quick disclaimers here. The first is that these were the movies that I really loved and can really see myself watching again and again and again and again. The second is that the medals of honor I have given to these movies don't matter. This is not a list where I rank movies from my least of most favorites depending on which medals of honor I have given to some of these movies, gold or platinum. The third and final disclaimer is that I didn't watch anybody's top 10 list videos on YouTube before I've done this one. So don't think I'm copying off of everyone else's list videos, because I'm not. I hadn't watched anybody's top 10 list before I've done this one. So yeah, just bear with me on that. And now, before we get into my top 10 picks, we will get there, just be patient. I do have a few honorable mentions. These were the movies that I loved so much that I wanted to put these movies on this list, but they didn't quite make it. And they are as follows: Get Out, Hidden Figures, Beauty and the Beast, Baby Driver, Life, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Now, let's get into this. My 10 favorite movies of 2017. Starting with Wind River was an emotionally invigorating film that just sends chills down my spine in the best way. Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen, and everybody else did a really solid job. The story, while simple, was engaging. The character development and the depth for the characters were so well utilized. If you hadn't seen Wind River, I really recommend checking it out. John Wick Chapter 2 was one of the best sequels to one of the best action thriller films I have seen in years. Keanu Reeves killed it once again as John Wick, and a lot of people in this movie also did a really good job. The action scenes looked so well choreographed, and the fight scenes with John Wick and Cassian, played by Common, were some of the best parts in this entire film for me. It might not be on that same level of great as its predecessor was, but I will say this: John Wick Chapter 2 is an action thriller sequel that I'm certain you would want to check out. SpiderMan Homecoming was one of the biggest surprises of the summer for me. It did nearly everything that I want to see in a superhero film, let alone a Spider-Man film. Tom Holland was terrific as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. The guy who played his best friend was hilarious as hell. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, she did a really good job. Michael Keaton as Vulture, one of the most underrated MCU villains to date, in my opinion. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man, he didn't appear too much, and the amount of time that he spent, or the screen time he had in this film, for like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, flawless. Absolutely flawless. And the origin story of Peter Parker learning how to become Spider-Man couldn't have gotten any better. Spider-Man Homecoming was the best Spider-Man film I have seen since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Please check this movie out when you get the chance. The Foreigner was easily one of the most underrated films of 2017. Jackie Chan gave out the best performance in recent years, and Pierce Brosnan also cannot and should not be ignored because he was excellent in this movie. The story was so captivating, it kept me on the edge of my seat waiting to see Jackie Chan do all the stunts and action scene moves that he does to take out the bad guys, and also seeing Pierce Brosnan giving out some emotionally brutal dialogue that made you not necessarily condone his actions, but but made you understand where he's coming from and where he stands. And I thought that was brilliant. The Foreigner is most certainly a film you do not want to miss. A Dog's Purpose absolutely floored me. It blew my low expectations out of the water, because most movies that come out in January weren't usually that good. And this movie did something to me that no other film has ever done before to me, or at least that I can recall, which was making me cry in the theater. That's freaking rare. There was a scene where Bailey, the first dog that Josh Gad voiced, was put to a table and laid down on the table, and then this young version of Ethan came in as quick as he could to see Bailey one last time before Bailey's time has come, preparing to die. That scene really made me teared up. Now, despite how much I love about this movie and everything about it, I really can't see myself watching it any more than once or twice, because this was an emotion-driven film. It just beats you up with emotions like happiness and sadness. Nevertheless, this was a really good movie, and it's a very underrated film in my opinion. Not a lot of people have talked about it enough, or in this case, even praised it enough. War for the Planet of the Apes was one of the best trilogy conclusions I have ever seen. I would say it's on par with ones like Captain America Civil War and The Lord of the Rings The Return of the Kings, or other third installments like them. And Andy Serkis was probably the best he has ever been, not just in this entire trilogy, but probably throughout his entire career. Whether it's motion capture that he does or not. The special effects on the apes looked incredible. And I said this in my review for this movie. I said the conflict between Caesar and the human colonel played by Woody Harrelson, who I thought was fantastic, was so riveting. It just glued me to the big silver screen until it was over. If you didn't get the chance to watch this movie, you're doing yourself a disservice. Please check this movie out. Christopher Nolan came back yet again with another one of the best films in his entire filmmaking career, Dunkirk. This film did what most based on a true story war movies should have done, which was but pretty much lacked in, which was focusing on the real life event. Now granted, we do want to feel attached to the characters and understand who they are and where they're coming from. I get that. But when it comes to movies like Dunkirk, they're supposed to focus on much more than just the characters. They're also supposed to focus on the real life events they were based on. Christopher Nolan understood that perfectly, and he did that while also demonstrating just how horrifically bad war can be. And it paid off. Logan was not only the best R-rated comic book movie I have seen since Deadpool, but it's also the best R-rated comic book movie I have seen in my entire life. And the R-rated aspect alone was not what made this movie so great. It was the story about Logan spending his final days as this old, tired, slow, self-healing, clawed mutant with his daughter, Laura, /X-23. The action sequences in this movie were gory, bloody, and violent, and James Mangold, who directed this movie, directed those gory, bloody, and violent action sequences in a way that was just breathtaking. Hugh Jackman said this would be his final portrayal as Logan /Wolverine, and he went out with a freaking bang. And I was absolutely pleased to see that. Now, my second pick for top 10 best movies of 2017 is also very likely going to be my most controversial pick, because I have a pretty sneaky suspicion that it's going to piss a lot of people off, at me for putting this film at the number 2 spot, whether they love the film or hate the film. And that movie is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
What?
Yeah, I know. Star Wars: The Last Jedi is my second favorite movie of 2017.
Well, then you are lost!
While I'm sorry to disappoint you, Star Wars fans, for putting this movie, not putting this film at the number 1 spot, I'm sorry. At least those who love the film. This was the best Star Wars sequel I have seen since The Empire Strikes Back. It had a very darker tone that I didn't expect, lots of really good twists and turns that I didn't see coming, great cinematography, great action sequences, great special effects, and a great direction by Rian Johnson, who I thought did a terrific job at directing this movie. I struggled to comprehend to this very day of why Star Wars fans, a lot of Star Wars fans, and non-Star Wars fans in particular, either hate this movie or disliked it. I really don't get the hate for this movie at all, because I really enjoyed seeing this movie in theaters when it came out, and nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, will change my mind about that. Period. Okay, here I go, guys. Whew. Unveiling my favorite movie of 2017, the one film that I loved even more than Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and all of this film's predecessors before it, in a cinematic universe that had a very rough start, but got back up in a very significant way because of this film. Wonder Woman was the best superhero origin story film I have seen in a very long time, and I am still sticking by that statement no matter what any of y'all said. This movie was everything that I want a superhero movie to be. It's a movie with a spectacular origin story about an Amazonian warrior becoming a powerful superhero rather, with godlike powers, who is willing to prevent humanity from being wiped out by a disaster of any kind. It was just spectacular. Gal Gadot, there are many things I could describe her as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman, which is wonderful, because she's Wonder Woman, wonder and wonderful, and powerful and magnificent, spectacular and amazing and beautiful, and everything, she was perfect as Wonder Woman. Chris Pine gave out the best performance in his entire filmmaking career, at least in my opinion. The banter between him and Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman was spot on, and the humor that was put in this movie was also really good, really solid. The humor was, and the main villain of the film, Ares, was also the most underrated villain that the DCEU has offered, at least for me personally. The action sequences were great. The special effects looked great, and let's talk about Patty Jenkins for a second. Oh boy, she directed the crap out of this movie. I was blown away by the direction she took for this film, and I'm super hyped for her to direct the Wonder Woman sequel, which she already did. She signed a deal to do the Wonder Woman sequel, and so that's awesome. And I also am super hyped to see Gal Gadot reprised her iconic role as Diana Prince / Wonder Woman. I just can't wait to see her do her thing in the sequel. Give me the Wonder Woman sequel right now. I want it. And those, my friends, are my personal picks for top 10 best movies of 2017. Now stay tuned here on my channel, because for the first time ever, at least on this channel, I'm going to be unveiling my personal list for top 10 worst movies of 2017. Yeah, that's right. I've actually seen a lot of pretty bad movies this year, and I figured why not do my first ever worst list video. And so, yeah, I can't wait. I actually can't wait. Well, not actually, but I can't. You get the point. It's coming out tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video and you agree with my list, please click the like button and comment down below and let me know what are your top 10 best movies of 2017, or what is your favorite film of 2017. And if you enjoyed what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please click the subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you never miss a video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad. Last week of 2017, Battle Squad. Happy New Year's Eve, I guess. And as always, fight the good fight. Peace.